Well, hello everyone. Oh, as soon as I get on the air, computers go mayhem. And that's okay, because you know what? I got a new song for you, and it goes a little something like this. And here we go. Hey, hi, how you doing, baby? It's a pickle's way to say hello each and every day. That's the gherkin greeting that we send to you from the jar where pickles play. Here we know that each day is so green and bright, sending you our pickle love with all of our might. Hi, how you doing, baby? It's a pickle's way to say we love you. Really, really love you. Really, very, very much. Really, 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 we love you today. You know where we do that, right? In the pickle in the pickle jar. Pickle jar. All my friends both near and far. Oh, come on in into the pickle jar. Uh-oh. Chris is here in the pickle jar. Hey, Chris. Hi, how you doing? Oh, shoot. Mic setting. There we are. How you doing today, Chris? How you doing today, Chris? How you doing today? I got a purple heart. Purple heart. Purple heart. Oh my God. What's going on with you? You're probably at work, so you probably can't type too much. And that's okay. I am fantastic. Absolutely. Just alive and well. Didn't get to work out yet, but will. Eating well. Discovered a new way to make potatoes. And just creating and getting along. How about you? You're good? You're good? I'm going to drink my mate right now. It's probably hotter than Hades. It's a holiday. That's true. Happy Martin Luther King. Thank you, Martin Luther King. Thank you. Oh, okay, Chris. They're called fondant potatoes, Fondant. And what you do is you figure out what potato you like, you cut the ends off, oil in the pan, so maybe you load up 5-6 potatoes, and you brown the ends. 5 minutes one side, 5 minutes the other, give or take. Add 2 tablespoons of butter, some thyme, and a few cloves of garlic. Cook. On a lower, let it simmer a little bit, pour it all over the potatoes, keep it going, and a cup of chicken stock, and throw the whole thing in the oven for at least half an hour. It's pretty good. The secret is you got to cut up the potatoes and then pour the mixture over them, and they are really good. And it's really not that fatty. I did use a little bit more olive oil than I normally do, like maybe like 4 tablespoons, just because I wanted to keep them from sticking. But it's only 2 tablespoons of butter, and it's fantastic. You got to try it. It's so good. I just looked it up on YouTube. I've been playing with recipes. The weekend comes. I'm like, all right, let's make a recipe I haven't made. So there you go. So good. Yup. Oh, and okay, what else? What was that thing I was gonna say? Watching Evil on Netflix. It's kind of fun. It's really creepy. Oh, my pen. And yeah. And there was something else. I haven't seen Soul yet, but I will. Haven't gotten around to it yet. Because it's a happy movie, and I'm doing a rewrite on that horror movie I wrote. And I got to kind of keep with that theme. Just, scariness. But that's the big things for today. All right. And if you're up late on Tuesday nights, we're now doing a horror show. And Pickle Lady is joined by Uncle Spooky. Woo! And we talk about, right now, the title of the show, we don't really have one yet. We're either Terror Talk or Real Squeals, maybe. It's tough to say. We're going to see. And we chit-chat about horror and films, and we get all over the place. But it's for an hour, and it's real fun. It's join us. And we discovered last week we had both watched the same television show called Monsters back in 91. It was like 88 through 91 it ran, so it was maybe 90, 89, 90. We both watched the same episode, and it kind of messed us up. And it had a giant spider in it. A giant black widow spider. Yeah, it was really cool. And so we've tracked it down, and we've discovered that Roku is playing that television series. Nope. Hang on. It's just one episode, right? Each season had about maybe a dozen, maybe 8 episodes in it. And one of them, a friend of ours insists we watch, had something like Krampus. Only it was called Bling Bing or Bing Bing or something. And it's his favorite. And he found it on YouTube and sent it our way. So I'll be watching that. I forgot to watch it last night. I got distracted. I got distracted with good times and good fun. So there you go. Oh, but did you check out Wonder Woman yet? That's the question of the day. I mean, we're jumping right into it. I didn't even get warmed up yet. I barely have it. You have not... Oh, no, he hasn't responded yet. He's probably playing in the middle of Warcraft. Or League of Legends. Or. All right, we will do cartooning today. We will talk about Losing the Line, but we got Chris here, so I thought we'd chit-chat story structure. He's good at that. No? Well, then I won't talk about it. I'll let you wait. Because a little bit of a spoiler to give away. So I don't want to ruin it for you. If you sign up for HBO Max, you can get it. But my plan for the day, says Chris, is to finish the 2nd season of Mono and then watch WandaVision. Oh, Mandalorian, I think. And then watch WandaVision. People have asked me, I haven't watched the WandaVision yet. I just can't, I just can't watch everything. I got to write sometime. Let me know what you think. I'll be curious. You have a good taste in film, that's for sure. Yeah, I won't talk about it right now. I'll wait till someone else comes on. But then I'll give you a spoiler. Like, we're going to talk about it now. Here we go. I haven't seen any and not a thing of WandaVision. I have no idea. I like the actress. I think she did a decent job on it. I like the actor who played Vision. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I will wait for you to let me know. My chiropractor asked me that this morning. The first 2 episodes came out on Friday. Oh my gosh, how are we going to survive? Oh, that's exciting. I love it. Yeah, the one, it'll be interesting to see how they translate it onto the smaller screen. It'll be interesting. So it's about them, huh? My brain went away for a little bit. Just a little bit. It's back now. You can hear it giggling. Right away. Yeah, I'm really digging on Evil. It's to not give anything away. It's just involves a team working for or hired by the Catholic Church to prove or disprove miracles and all sorts of things. It's not completely original script. you know. It's just I've seen a version of them doing this years ago, but I'll tell you what, the way they depict demons and exorcisms is pretty fun. It's, the first episode kind of caught in my brain, and I thought about it. I thought about it. Oh yeah, yeah, and you're never quite sure if it's just someone acting crazy or something very evil or just, some everyday event. You're never quite sure. That's the fun part. And the one guy that plays Leland is so evil. He's just well done. The writers did a good job. And it's interesting because I was listening to the Critical Drinker today on YouTube, and he was talking about recent villains in modern film and like what happened. Why are they so lackluster? And his theory basically evolves around the idea that there are certain rules now in film that tenets you can't break. One of them being, and it's just a theory, so one of them being like you can't. The woman has to be empowered and never loses, or is stronger, and that's like okay, interesting. And there was a few more. That's the only one I can think of right now. But anyway, he was showing how the difference between how Darth Vader was this amazingly powerful villain. The very first time you saw him, he's an enormous presence, walks on the screen. He's massive. He never loses his cool. He, if someone's in his way, just tosses people around, does what needs to be done to get the job done. Wow. Okay. And people are intimidated by him. They don't look him in the eye. They're afraid of him. Versus, what's the bad guy's name in Star Wars? This guy, the latest Darth Vader, he throws a hissy fit a lot, tantrums, which I might be okay with, but people are intimidated by him. They don't show that much. In fact, when you show characters' reactions to another character in a film, like let's say we're showing the characters react to the villain, you're kind of reminding the audience not how they should react, but you're reinforcing an idea. And when characters are acting counter to that, when they're just a smart aleck to the villain's face, it takes away from the villain. It takes away from his power, and then it slowly starts working away at it. It was an interesting episode. I recommend it. Check that one out if you're interested. I love that stuff, so I think about it a lot. But they show that. They show the weakening of a villain and how initially villains were so amazingly powerful, so formidable, so threatening that you wouldn't want to run into them. And that served its purpose because as an audience member, you were thinking, how are these people ever going to defeat this guy? And it kept you wondering. It kept you just intrigued. And when you lack that in a film where the villain is just weak or doesn't have much presence or isn't threatening to the hero at all, they lose that potential and it starts to flatten out the film and it becomes dull, uninteresting without intensity. And I have to agree with that. Excuse me, talking. The air's a little thin up here on my soapbox. Oh, because in Star Wars, what is that guy's name? I can't remember his name. Han Solo's son. When he meets up with Rey, he keeps losing. The villain. She keeps defeating the villain. And that's dangerous to get into. You can kind of paint yourself into a corner, and not a good one to get out of. You want the hero losing the whole way through. So, we fear for the hero. We're worried about them. We want them, like, oh my gosh, right up to the end, have no concept of what's going on. And then reverse it. Or maybe not. Maybe the hero loses. Could be interesting. Seen some films like that. It always is hard to watch. When the hero loses, it's too much like reality. Too much like reality. Okay. Critical Drinker. I love his. He has interesting points of view, and I enjoy them. And he's easy to listen to. I'll do a lot of cooking or cleaning and have him on, listen to his episodes. It's nice to hear. I don't think I've read any of his books. I might have to one of these days. Give it a read. So there you go. Well, I haven't decided what I'm going to work on today. I am going to do cartooning, so anybody tuning in, we're going to talk that a little bit. I just want to get loosened up, get my mind right. Just not sleeping well. Oh, phooey. I erased part of that jaw. Didn't mean to. It's always something. Playing around with coloring, lighting, getting it done. Oh, I see what I did. All right. Haven't painted in a while, so I thought I would try some painting today. Get a little warmed up, get a loosened up. Yes. Now, initially, I did highlights here, and then I didn't clearly remind myself where that light source is coming from. These are fine. These up front are terrible. It's terrible. Well, hello. Good afternoon, Kennedy. Welcome aboard. You are on the air here with Chris. Chris is here. He's hanging out quietly, enjoying his nice day off. Kennedy's here. How you doing today, Kennedy? What's going on? You saving the world? You saving the technological world? Just probably hanging out, relaxing. Another fun day to relax. Yeah, they changed my school schedule now, and I have to, lucky, I have to spend my Sundays prepping for school. Boo. Boo. Oh, it's your day off. And you're spending it with us in the pickle jar. How sweet is that? That's awesome. Awful last few days. Oh, Kennedy says he had an awful last few days. Anything we can do to help? Is it the weather? Is it, what do you mean by awful? Do tell. Go on. I was watching a little bit of Fight Club during lunch today. And he was in his whole part of the film where he talks about insomnia. I didn't want to listen too much. I definitely fight that. I feel a bout coming on. I'm fighting it though. Just gonna catch it here. I'm just reinforcing my angle of my highlights here. You're looking for distraction and art where you are in the right place. Kennedy, question. Now, no spoilers. Chris is getting ready to watch WandaVision today. Have you watched that yet? Do you watch that stuff? Okay, this is helping. It's making it a lot less bright. I haven't. If I had stars, I would, says Kennedy. Oh, is it on stars? I think I get stars. I'm not sure. There's so many channels. I'm so excited. Ooh, I watched, this weekend was really neat. I watched that movie the Daily Wire produced. It's called Run, Hide, Fight. Or Hide, Run, Fight. One of those. You're an Avengers fan from way back, so you're going to be on it. Yeah, I know. When Wanda didn't have her little hair doing her stuff, I was like, oh, man. Okay. I know it's not really her, but whatever. I'm off track. Run, Hide, Fight. Pretty good. Drama set during a high school shooting. It's good. It's really good. I was really surprised by there's the main story and there's a lot of sub stories going on, and the protagonist has an interesting character arc that is inspired by the shooting. Right? It's well done. It's good. It's intense. It's not for the light of heart, but it is a good story. It's not grotesque or anything, but people get killed. I mean, yeah. And I very much enjoyed it, and I'd like to read it. I'd really like to read it, see how they wrote that script. You can watch it for free on YouTube. And somebody made the comment to me, oh, well, it's, that political channel, right? The Daily Wire. And I said, yeah, but as a writer in the industry, I'm excited. That means more jobs, more people getting hired, more writing necessary, more scripts needed, more and more and more. And I'm excited. Platforms are opening up. It's just a whole new world. Maybe, I don't know if it's the downfall of the movie theater, but it is definitely the rise of alternate choices. And that's exciting. I'm very excited. Now we've got Avengers TV shows. Who would have thought? Who would have thought we went from Spider-Man crawling around on really bad blue screen with those big old thick bracelets to a stiffly animated show to here we are, It's just a matter of time. It's extraordinary. Extraordinary. It's like having the Roman Colosseum all in your house. Yay. More jobs. Yay. That would be amazing, Chris. You could do all your work from at home. Eventually we will. Maybe Wall-E is the future. On our chairs. Here we go. I still move my hand. I guess. It's amazing. It's amazing. I am too. I liked the Avengers. I read them very young. I was very tiny. Almost not. I read them before I could read. And I have to admit, I always liked Hawkeye. Sorry. I did. He was Robin Hood. What can I say? I always felt bad for Iron Man because that was when he was all that drinking. I felt bad for him. Avengers Assemble. And then they'd have Ant-Man come on, which I was fascinated by Ant-Man. He'd kind of join up now and then in the Wasp. When I could read, probably, and then when I got older, I think the one that would blow my mind, and I didn't, minimum money, so I didn't collect all the comic books, but I was just fascinated with Doctor Strange. Just fascinated. I couldn't figure out how somebody could outsmart, survive in all these different environments and ancient evil or ancient gods and deities, and he'd always sometimes it's close, get out of it. Sometimes it would take a few comics. Just thought that was amazing. I have to admit, I was so excited when the movie came out. I went and saw it. I couldn't help it. The way visually, I was just impressed. I thought it was probably one of the closest films I'd seen that was like the comic book. Really neat, really fun. So I loved that. Benedict did a great job. I felt like he took the role somewhat serious, and that's important, I think, as an actor. I think sometimes they just give me the check. Yeah. He's fabulous. Yeah. I can watch that. I should watch that one again. I remember when I was in New York, I was helping out a student in the Bronx, a young kid that was pretty talented at film, and I was trying to encourage him more, and I brought something in for him, and then he brought something home from work. He brought something from home, threw it on the school computer, and I said, okay, I'll take it home for you and compress it, and I was going to do some things for him and bring it back. And then as I was loading it, I noticed he had dragged something else over. It was a copy of Doctor Strange. I'm like, oh, well, just take that home. Got to watch it again. And then I deleted it. I'd already paid to see it. So that's a movie you got to see in the theater, I was bummed. I saw Wonder Woman just the other day, and I had it all set up. I was bummed I couldn't see it in the theater because those action sequences are great on a big screen. So I got it hooked up to my projector, all ready to go, and then pow, the bulb goes. Like, oh. I don't know why. I've never had one blow like that, but it blew. And fortunately, it's not terribly expensive. The projector's old enough to where they run about $30 a pop, so which is a long way from 300. Used to be 300 a pop. Yeah. But we'll get back to that. On another day. Well, we're doing teeth today. Let's get these highlights going. And then I want to darken it. All right. You're an Avengers. Okay, so which Avenger was your favorite, Kennedy? Or you didn't have one? That's my problem. Is a lot of times it's my issue. A lot of times, I read comics before I could read. I would read my brother's, and I don't remember what comic it was. I remember all the visuals. Don't quite remember all the words. I mean, when you're 4, 5, it can be rough. I got there. Oh, come on. What did I do with this? Out of paint. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so weird. See, my computer just shut off. This one never shuts off, but the laptop will shut off. I don't know why. Who knows? Who knows the man? And now it's completely turned off. And it's plugged in. I'm glad I'm glad my survival doesn't depend on that laptop. Help me. All right, let's talk line. I'm a little loosened now. I got to teach tomorrow, so we're going to talk some line. All right. I noticed last week when talking to the students, and I'm making them draw with me. You should see the faces when I do that. Okay. Last week. Okay. What is common, especially with young talent, is they want to be able to draw from the get-go. And not just wake up and be able to draw. I mean, who doesn't? Give me that wishing stone. But they want the drawing to start off with it being perfect, and they're not willing to go through the steps to do it. Or they don't know the steps to do that because they've never been exposed to it. They've never been taught. I was really never taught to draw until I made it into animation school. And then I realized immediately, I'm not drawing right. And then was taught a way to draw. Here is a formula for drawing, and it worked. And that's what I teach her. And that's what I teach at school. That's what I share with friends when they want to learn. There's stages. And everything goes in stages. Everything does. Whatever craft you do, whatever job, there's generally a standard operating procedure to follow. And then I go, okay, we got to do this. Here's the standard procedure. Here, da, 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 da. Ooh, it's not terribly difficult. It takes practice. You got to get used to it. But when you can see it, when you start seeing it, that means you've acquired it, and now you're actualizing it. You're actually using it. They're very excited about learning backgrounds and portraying emotions. So we're going to do a lot of drawing and a lot of design. But the drawing, I want them to get down to basic understanding, seeing things at the basic level. So then you can build upon that. So I've been having real fun looking around online for simple backgrounds that are just gorgeous and beautiful. Real simple, though. So they're going to get good at oil painting. I figured it's a good way to start, keeping them simple. When I learned design, we had to do paper cutout. Keep it simple. Keep it clean. To get those, because in animation school, eventually end up with paper cuts because you're carrying stacks of paper, but now you could include a very sharp X-Acto knife. Horror stories. On more than one occasion, somebody would have a project on the wall with a big blood splatter. Oh, yeah. And occasionally, it would fit the background. Huh, that's weird. I just realized that my background looks odd. Curiosa and Curiosa. What's going on? Let's see if I can do something about that. No, it's not that. It looks like my filter is not working, which it, of course not, because why would it work? I like that. I should keep that. It's really not a big deal, but I thought it might be nice to keep the show going. But all right. It's just not going to work today. That's fine. If I take this off. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. We don't need this big old thing. So what we're talking about, lines. So my goal is to get them as loose as possible. And then we'll start tightening up. So my theory being, or at least my operating procedure will be, okay, let's keep our gesture line, our emotions loose. And then once, in our big shapes, and then once we get to perspective, the third step in, then we'll slowly start tightening up, tightening up, tightening up, tightening up. And I had and so I got them on live drawing, and that's what I highly encourage. The other thing I'm going to encourage is putting that, whatever you got, your pen down on the paper. Let's see how big this is. That's fine. And don't take it off. Keep it on there. I'm going to reduce my stabilization a little bit, just so I can get a little movement on there. Not sure what I'm doing today, so, it's okay to just keep the line flowing. Don't pick it up off the paper. Right? You're just going to keep drawing. Keep making a statement. And here I am drawing. I don't know. This is some kind of contour mess. It's kind of fun, though. Sitting here with my little pen. I think the goal is going to be, I want them getting used to stuff looking messy, where nothing is perfect. And that's going to be tough for a young talent because, more than ever nowadays, I got a little dark there, we're inundated Sounds like my sex life way back with Kennedy. That was a cheap, easy joke. It was funny. I'm just changing my feet around a little bit. All right, maybe make a chair. There we go. There you go. How about that? Okay, we're inundated with these perfect images, right? All these professional artists are posting all of their stuff online. So it looks great. And the rest of us feel terrible because we can't even accomplish anything. Oops, I can't draw a straight line near that. Well, or can we? Maybe we can. Maybe we're just not spending all of our time doing it. That awful sounds like my sex life. All right, let's see how long we can ride this. Maybe we just need to practice more with a certain amount of love and tenderness and the proper instruments. Okay. All right. So here's just a little dinky thing, a little warm up. All right, just drawing on my tablet. Fine, whatever. Let's try that again. That was fun. And that's the thing is, when you ask, yeah, I'll delete it. It's no big deal. You ask the kids, what do you want to learn? Then they tell you. Now I got to figure out how to get them from here to here. So we're going to try that. That's going to be the big one. When I have them doing gesture lines, I get a lot of this. Like somebody, I don't know, they're waving and maybe they're holding something like, I got it. Like this. I get a lot of these, all outline. Which is a drawing, it counts. But it's so limiting versus what if you get your line, what if a guy's here and he's hanging out like, look at me. Maybe that hand is up here and he's like, I gotta get that leg up. And then maybe this leg is way over here now. Like he's just completely off balance. And he's just hanging on like, I'm over here, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. Right? Okay, is this a drawing? It is a drawing. Same thing, but look at the movement. Look at it. It's slightly off balance, but somewhat believable. Like maybe he can hold it. And then you say, but that doesn't really look like a human. Okay. That's true, because it's a line. I will say that comic artists often hit those gestures as well. Agreed. Agreed. This is movement, though. It's movement. It's not the drawing. It's the basis of everything is going to be built. And then you can start finding those relationships. Now, it's still not real tight, right? We're looking slightly down the hips here, pretty much straight on in the rib cage. You know, maybe get those joints, you know, maybe our shoulder blades are behind. We're just thinking now. Even now, I'm not drawing a straight line for the arm. Oh, and by the way, most of the kids try to draw the forearm like that, and it is not like that. We got two bones up there. So, you know, it'd be more like that. Because the palm is up, so now the bones are aligning. Things you learn when you draw anatomy a lot. Okay. And then maybe I think about, where that head is and start looking for it. And that's what I want This is the most important thing when I teach is you're not going to draw it perfectly out of the gate, okay? You have to learn how to feel your way around and start building that thing. Like consider it almost sculpting. You've got the gesture, you've kind of got like a loose wire frame, and now you're putting it on, you're putting it on, you're putting it on. It's tightening up until the very last thing you do are the little details. And that's what I'm encouraging them to do. And Kennedy's chiming in. There's a very good line in Terry Pratchett about a pendant that suggests a horse running. Okay. It's not what a horse looks like, but it's what a horse is. Agreed. Very cool. Very well said. Much better than my sloppiness. Thank you. You know, now we can tighten up. It's funny too because I'll get the class and I'm not warmed up yet. I got to remember to start really warming up before I get. I'm one of those artists. I have to warm up. Most of the guys I knew who became animators, they warm up too. They get to work and they spend a good chunk of time just kind of warming up, getting your mind right. You know. I made them barefooted. Barefoot's fun. Bare feet are fun. Love men's calves. I've always loved men's calves. I have very, what do they call them? Cankles. It's calf and an ankle. I love them. So now I'm just slowly tightening up. Slowly, ever so slowly taking my time and enjoying it. And see, there's a messy drawing happening here. But you can see, oh, I love those calves. Look at that. Right? Now we're starting to get... I'm just putting little circles right now just for the sake of. There you go. Now we're tightening up. Got my big shapes in. And this is actually step 1. I've done step 1, motion emotion. Step 2, big shapes. Step 3, perspective. It's in there. And now it's just a matter of tightening up. That's it. It's that easy. Right? And if I wanted to get real silly, you know, I could kind of start throwing this around. Ooh. Like, who knew? Something's coming my way. It's a big ball coming at me. Psh, big soccer ball. Throw some lines in there. And maybe the shirt. He doesn't know which way to go. We've all been there. If anybody's played a sport, there's those moments where, oh, and then, poof. Yeah, move. Even if it's the wrong choice, move. The best for me was martial arts. Get offline. If you don't know what to do, just get offline. It's the best advice. All right, good. You're good. Okay, so there you go. That's easy. It's that easy. It's that infinitely difficult. You can spend a lifetime trying to perfect drawing and get it right, but it is the steps you learn. And it's you walk around school and you see these kids struggling with their anime drawings, just struggling, trying so hard to get them to work, you know, and not understanding, you know, it's not just an ear, it's going around and it's curved and it's flattened. They don't understand the art of taking something bulbous and flattening it. And so we'll get them there. I do have one 9-year-old. No, she's 12. She wants to learn animation. We'll see. I'll teach you. I don't mind. It's like you gotta learn to draw a lot. You must learn to love it. But I think we have similar programs, so we can draw that way. Let's see if I can get that line. All right. Oh, it won't do it. All right, so let's try that one again. It's not what a horse looks like. It's what it feels like. I draw what it feels like, right? I tend to not draw what it looks like. Right. Which leads to a lot of fun meetings. It's true. It's true. Man. What am I? You know, when you get to cartooning, a lot of times what you're doing is you're playing with shapes that communicate. You know, right away I'm going, my main idea is tired and bored. All right, boom, put it up in the corner, commit. Tired and bored. Green tea, yerba mate. Yeah. All right, here we go. So basically, this is the head, arm on the table, body. And maybe, you know, those days are young. I was like, what is that? Oh, that's my knee up on the... I don't do that anymore. But maybe I'll just do the arm hanging. See, right now I'm searching for... I have this idea of the table, right? And the arm somewhere here. But I don't know what to do with it yet. And that's why I'm gently prodding along, figuring it out, taking the time. It's easy to just get frustrated, give up, versus taking the time, slowing down, loosening up your line, let it flow. Now this one I'm searching for the thing. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. All right. Got it. I don't want that one. I want this one. So when in doubt, exaggerate. It usually works better. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. I'm just going to puddle my chin on the table a little bit. This is going to be an oddie. And maybe I'll just have my hand here like, oh my God, I'm so tired. When you get older, as a cartoonist, you do a lot of tired drawings. Yeah. Tuesday nights, I'm pretty tired. All right, so here we go. So let's get the shape down. Now, I want you to notice, look how soft the line is. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna melt into my chair here. Just, maybe I'll have the elbow drooping here, like I'm just hanging on to the desk. Maybe the table's here, right? So you can get this table. So already, and the other thing I would say, just for in terms of design, I'm going to push this always with the kids because they want to do background and they want to show emotion. All right, so you start using your design to your advantage. If I'm tired, I'm probably not going to be up here unless there's something going on here that is paramount. Maybe there's papers or, deadline past due or you're broke now or whatever. That's not what I wanted. So I'm going to lower myself a little bit more even. Just like, oh God, I'm barely on the picture. Okay. Let's get this table going. All right. Now, the fun thing about when you're exaggerating is it doesn't have to be accurate. It has to be maybe identifiable, relatable, but it doesn't have to be precisely where everything is. I want to put the eye here because the head's about here, but what if I put the eye down and then I just let it puddle? Right? So we're going to start doing things like this, like, oh, I'm so tired. Maybe the eye, I need it more. That's not enough. I need to exaggerate. Boop, 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 boop. Love that. Love this program. I love how we're going to get this. There you go. Do you see how all I did is just get that line there? I'm exaggerating. That's what makes good cartooning. Exaggerated. Are there cartoons out there that aren't line exaggerations or Of course, of course. But this is a way to tap into the emotions that you have and to make that connection. I'm thinking this and I'm putting it on the paper. So you start using exaggeration. It's your friend. It's a great way to warm up. It's a great way to get everything loose. See, I naturally followed. It was my inclination to follow this perspective right here to get that going around. But what has happened is it's not destroyed, but it's interfering. It's not working with being bored or tired. I look, I don't know, maybe drunk or happy. And that's not the intent of this one. And so, remember, I'm just slowing down. There you go. See how easy that was? You just take that little angle. Now, this is how you draw what you feel. I got my little double chin going there. Oh, good. It's a lot easier to draw yourself when you get older because there's more wrinkles and sagging and bags and things happening to your face that you don't plan on. But hey, take the good with the bad. Take the good. Makes lighting's a little rougher. Everything's HD now. Ugh. Okay, so here we go. Well, isn't that a beautiful shape? It's just great. I really got it. Okay. And now I'm just letting the hand have fun with the fingers. I'm even exaggerating them, getting them real long. It's all right. Oops. They can, don't waste a line. Make them count. It's funny to say because I like to stay loose and scribble about. But make it count. When you're drawing this knuckle and this finger, make it feel tired. Think about how that finger feels. Really, think about that. Think about how this whole body is just, maybe even a few wrinkles. That arm is pushing up. And maybe even the arm is flattening out on the table. Oh, that's great. You will be astounded. I'm even going to curve my ears. Like, I just don't even feel like doing it. I don't really feel this way, but it's funny to... Not today. There's been days. Kennedy, there's days you can't even get your eyebrows on. Your eyebrows down here. Yeah, pulling up. Staple your eyebrow to your head. That's something we haven't seen in a movie. Stapling your eyebrow to your face. That's a scene. Okay. This is great. Right? One of the big things, like, look at that. The eyes are even just kind of, not even perfect circles. They're just, one of the major things, a friend of mine, I get into this art school. You start realizing, when you get to the point you're realizing you don't really know much about something, it's this whole new area. At first you're overwhelmed, right? You get to a new experience, like, what the heck? You're kind of overwhelmed, sometimes discouraged, like there's no way I'm even going to catch up to these people. But then you get to a point where you become amazed at what people can do. And when you get to amazement, that's wonder and curiosity starting to peak. That's a great place to be, because then the next thing is now you have the interest and you're going to learn. Okay. So just remember that, when you first start, you're overwhelmed or what? No. And probably there's a lot of fear and anxiety and I don't know, even maybe anger and frustration mixed in there because we're human. Okay. But if you can get to that part where you get to wonderment and fascination and interest, then it's just beautiful. Anyway, a friend of mine, she could just take a little ink and do these beautiful faces. And I'm like, how do you do that? How do you draw that eye? And she says, you're not drawing the eye. You're drawing enough to insinuate the eye. Is that how she put it? I think that's how she put it. I'm not drawing the eye. I'm drawing enough so it looks like an eye. And it was just like scribble, a little line, a little scribble. Like, what? And I realized, okay, that's how she does it. I always say to people, as I draw enough to where it feels like an eye, or I draw it so the eye feels an emotion. And that's how I draw. And so you're going to discover how you draw. When you're young, I can't tell you how many young students I have, all ages. Well, this is how I draw. Okay, this is how you draw right now, but you're still very inexperienced and you don't have your way of drawing yet. And to get to your way of drawing, you've got to go through, well, in my field, they say 100,000 drawings. You got to get through 100,000 drawings. Get rid of all the bad ones. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you want to become a artist for hire, a professional artist, then
you you better have more than one way of drawing, because you're not going to get many jobs that want you to do exactly what you do. I mean, that might start off that way and they say, yeah, but can you make it, instead of using watercolor, can you make it use an oil painting and add a lot of scratching? And instead of having such a loose line, we really want to tighten it up, and it's going to happen. And if you want to be a decent artist or successful, you're going to have to play the game. So my comment is empower yourself, then you can do anything. And when you learn all the other ways of doing it, or at least a lot of ways of doing it, it makes your way even better and better. And that's why we're all here. I hope, Kennedy adds, Kennedy, Bob Camp, who co-created Ren and Stimpy, is a friend. No way. Oh, that's cool. He told me that Ren and Stimpy isn't his personal style. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Boy, that's a crazy style, man. That sure had an impact on the world, I'll tell you what. I love that show. Hey, well, he's probably heard it all, but yeah, I love his show. It's just out there. It's fun. I loved Log. It was still one of my favorites. That Ren and Stimpy was so extreme. The way they would feel things and the way they would portray them with those beautiful, involved paintings. I'm laughing. I'm just thinking of moments. Space madness. Oh, sorry. Distracted. Reading Kennedy's work. He's done Marvel's Conan. Oh. He can draw. Thundercats. Rankin and Bass. Yep. He knows what he's doing. What a talented artist he must be. Yep. If he tuned in, he would say, well, duh. Yeah, this is how you do it. Oh, that's great. Thundercats. Is that the older Thundercats or the new one? The old one. Oh, I love that show. Etc., etc., etc. Oh, that's so cool. Right now, in my old ones, the best ones. The old ones are the best. That's when they could really crank out animation. And they would do really detailed, like comic book level drawings, and then just crank it out, make it move. Good stuff. Fast. Oh, the intros are always the best. Someone said like they would sell the show off the intro. So they would hire and do a 20-second, half a minute intro and get funding for the show. And then the animation wasn't nearly as good as the opening sequence. Oh. I love them. I love them. Some of them I had no appreciation how involved the story was. I would get to see one or two every year, maybe. Kennedy says, you haven't lived until you're hanging with Bob and a dozen fans on a convention floor and all singing the Log song. Hear, hear. It's Log, it's Log. I used to have, Kennedy, the Log song on my answering machine. Oh, I had all sorts. I had a lot of fun. I have fun with the answering machines. I still do. It's not always appreciated. It's definitely a limited art. Probably an annoying art. But annoying and funny, they go hand in hand. The Log song. I'm gonna let him know. Love it. I love it. What's he up to now? What's Bob up to now? Is he retired? He's just hanging out? I mean, he's swimming in his millions of dollars. La 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 la. Little backstroke. Absolutely. That's great stuff. Please do. He's hilarious. His work is amazing. Yeah, even the other stuff. It's good stuff. It's nice. It's such a luxury to have all these choices, all these great animated shows and films that we get to just choose from and watch. I love it. I was watching Thundercats beginning the other recently. I went into the rabbit hole online, and all started off with the Silverhawks intro. Dun, 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 dun. And I said, ooh. And then I went on to Thundercats and a few others. And that's hilarious. I know I have a videotape somewhere. I used to tape Ren and Stimpy off TV. I gotta find that. The log song. Oh my God. He's working. He does a lot of commissions, says Kennedy, and conventions. It's a rough month. Went to the hospital and has shingles. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. I should make him a card. Send it to him. Poor guy. Oh, there's nothing worse than, well, there's worse, but when you have all these commissions and you're sick. And shingles is dreadful. A friend of mine, you can get it anywhere. She got it right on her eyelid, all here. It was all swollen up. There's other worse places, but let's not talk about that. Well, send him our best, I really hope he does better. Poor guy. Aw. I was going to say, I was just being facetious. What hospital? If it's close by, let's go visit. No. Oh, that's sweet. Kennedy says, my mom had surgery and Bob made her a Nurse Ren Get Better card. That's hilarious. Did she even know who Ren and Stimpy were? Oh, that show is insane. Yeah. I know they won't, and I kind of don't want them to, but I think people really love wacky shows like that. I think the only one I can think of right now off the top of my head that has not filled it in, but kind of provided us the same kind of silly insanity is that Rick and Morty. Yeah. But I'll tell you, that Ren and Stimpy, there were times I would say, oh, I'd turn away, and it's just a painting. Just a painting. Yeah. Acne or something. That show is ridiculous. Love that show. Well, I hope he does better. Would he take... it's kind of weird. I don't know. I'd hate to send him a card and make him feel uncomfortable or something. But send him our best. He definitely impacted most of our lives for the better, I think. I hope he gets better soon. With love from the pickle jar. I love making cards for people. I do a lot of that. I do a lot of drawing or just little cutouts or something silly just to make people's day. It really adds. It's a really nice thought when people do that. To take a little time to think of someone else. She didn't really know. But your brother is very good friends with Bob and his wife, Michelle. Oh, nice. Like crashing on his hotel room couch. That's good friends. That's good friends. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and his wife. Oh, can you imagine the madness she must put up with? Oh. I say this with honest. I mean, I think a lot of people just assume, well, you do something wild, you must be crazy. Well, not always. I mean, I think a lot of us artists are crazy. I mean, I think a lot of people are crazy. But I think a lot of times artists are just really good communicators, like visually. And it's so powerful and so accurate that maybe it does frighten people a little bit. And so their response is, well, that's crazy. Well, aren't we all? Margaret Cho tells a funny story about her mother's theory about everybody's a little bit gay, right? But her mother's Korean, and so she says, everybody, little bit gay, right? Like that, right? So I do the reverse. I say, everybody a little bit crazy. We're all crazy. We're all crazy. Once you just accept it, then it hurts less. Oh man, I was just thinking what it would be like. Those cons are crazy. I've been to a few. Okay. Kennedy says, I did get a bit fanboy meeting Michael Whelan and being asked by a friend to join them from dinner. Oh, that's because you're cool. It's probably because you're not threatening, right? And that's cool. Good for you. How was dinner? What'd you have? What'd you eat? I met James Baxter. That was kind of cool. I was trying to buy him and his coworkers lunch so could get to hang out for a little bit. But the buddy I was with was acting all freaky. I don't want to scare him off. So a noodle place, West Side near Javits. Oh, nice. After NYC closed. After NYCC. Oh, okay, Comic-Con. How is the New York Comic-Con? I was going to go because I had a bunch of friends getting all dressed up when I lived there. And so, but they're like professional actors. So when they get dressed up, I mean, they look like Wonder Woman. They look like, crazy busy. Yeah. Have you been to the San Diego one? Is it similar? I mean, it's got to be pretty big. I mean, I've been to the San Diego one. It was a lot of fun. It was really neat seeing just the people watching. Yeah, I've never been in line so long. It is fun. It's fun. I just love what people can create. It's glorious. All right, let's see if I can pull this off. I'm going to play with this. Okay. Now, even though I'm tightening up, I'm still very much relaxed. I'm still just kind of just going along for the ride, not pushing down too hard. I was going to see if I could make this look like it was puddling around the nose. Let me give it a little, just to give it a little layering. Why not? Let's see if we can make it work. And we'll try it on the other side. Can't quite tell if that's successful. I forgot, where is the New York one? Is it Madison Square Garden? I can't remember. Oh, and I just couldn't get tickets. Yeah, it sells out pretty quick. And it's expensive, and you just keep adding up the ands. Mostly. All right. Did you dress up at all? Okay, now you see what happened here? I created this space, and when you're following the movement, don't forget to reinforce it. Keep following it. Don't break up a pattern. And that's kind of an interesting segue. Mostly Javits. Okay. Don't break the pattern. And this is a golden rule, and I'm just writing it down because I'm going to talk about it in a little while. In writing, it's a golden rule in design, right? If you go to all this trouble to establish a pattern, okay, repeating spirals or lines, or if you break it, unless it's intentional, it's not going to work, right? So a pattern in music would be, you set up a rhythm, or in writing, you said that's how you can get surprise. You set up this joke, dun, 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 surprise, or 1, 2, hit. You go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's jazz, right? You break up the pattern. It's intentional. It's great. If you go to all this trouble to establish a pattern and you don't follow it, it becomes a distraction. And here I had this pattern. I was following the movement of the eye, almost like it's running down the face. And then I stopped it here. That's not going to be good. Let's let it puddle out. Let's fix it. It's too big, says. So multiple peripheral locations. Theater at MSG Hammerstein. Oh, that's right. Okay, because I passed it one time. You always know it's in town because you'd be on the subway trying to get to work. There's people, all sorts of gear and garb. It's fabulous. Yeah. I'm in a comic book. And Bob teaches at the School of Visual Arts. Can you imagine being in his class? Oh my God. I want to be in his class. There's probably students like, they don't even know who he is. Oh, it's that guy that did some show. Probably. One of the worst instructors I ever had. Ever. There's a list. She wasn't number one, but she was she's fighting for it. Fighting for the slot. She just was a bad teacher. She's just bad at her job. And her husband was one of the producers for Biker Mice from Mars. Biker Mice from Mars. That's funny. Hey, now I'm at the age like, it pays the bills. What the heck? I think that always embarrassed her. I know, doesn't it? Looks like a little depressed HR puff and stuff. You are in my mind, Kennedy. Get out. Get out. You nailed it. I was wondering, what does this remind me of? It is. It's a sad, tired old lady. Yeah, the face, it's getting fun the older I get. I feel great. I'm bopping around like, yay. And then you look in the mirror like, why is this? You gotta push it back into shit. Son of a gun. Get in there. Something like that. All right, we're good. You missed me on the tavern? I know, I missed the tavern too. I know, but, it's not my show, so, What can you do? Not my show. But you can come here. And I'm here. You know where I am. Yeah, Kevin and I have an appointment. We're going to catch up with each other. Well, there we go. Let's get that going. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Pattern. Break the pattern. Establish a pattern and then break it. It does look like HR Puff and stuff. Kennedy, you rock. You haven't seen Kevin in an age either. Oh, Kevin gets busy. He does get busy. And I think he suffers from internet on an island. Yeah, it's a loose date. I'll let you know. I don't think we're going to stream it. I think we're just going to chit chat and hang out. But, family and such. So don't forget, tomorrow night, Kennedy, 11 p.m. Come check out the Pickle Lady. She gets joined by Uncle Spooky. And we talk about horror movies. You won't even recognize me. I'll be pickled up. Hey, Kennedy, guess who's here? Oh, Fox is in the house. Foxy! You love horror? Kennedy, show up. I'm telling you, Uncle Spooky and the audience he brings, they know more about horror movies than I ever imagined. And, I started kind of getting to know him, hanging out with his crew because I'm writing horror. And I thought, well, the more you learn, the better you get, right? And, wow, they know a lot. They know all the directors, actors. They've met them. Some of them work in the industry. It's a lot of fun. And we just end up talking horror. And it's tough because I got to cut him off because we were up so late. Oh, yeah. One of my favorites is, I won't tell you her last name, but her name's another Elizabeth. And she does, she's created a fake blood line. And what's the catchphrase? It tastes like chocolate, but it doesn't stain. So you got fake blood that doesn't stain. How fabulous is that? Yeah, they're amazing. And they're fun. They're rich, everyday people. And a couple of them got together. Oh, maybe 10 of them, 5, 8 of them. They made a horror movie on Zoom, and they edited it together. So I'm going to see if we can talk about that, have some trailers just to help support him. And then a bunch of other fun stuff. So check us out tomorrow night, 11 p.m. If I can get the technical stuff right. Just when you think you got the channel figured out, then you bring Discord into it, and the sound is such an issue. So there you go. Oh, Kennedy, no way. Kennedy says, I don't know if you're into it, but you're in New York again. I sometimes join a horror meetup group. They're fun. I was a member of that group. And I just hadn't joined any of the events, and then I had to move. But yeah, I had found that group on Meetup, and I was ready to do it, man. I would totally do it. They're fun. People really know their stuff. And, yeah, really. I promise. And Fox is still here. Hi, Fox. Uncle Spooky does his Spookorama, and you can catch him on Instagram, and we'll have it posted for you. I have watched so many films. Well, number one, it's really impacted my writing. My writing is blowing up. The structure all of a sudden went click. Like, oh, I got it. I see it now. Boom. And I watched a bunch of films I probably would never have watched on my own, but I just hang out with this group, and there's been some doozies. There's been a couple French ones that were amazing, and the whole movie, like this. And then there's been some that, I'm not sure. Well, I definitely don't ever want to watch again, but glad I watched one. They were doing it online for a bit, says Kennedy, where we would sync and stream together. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. We do it where he hosts and he makes comments, but he's very hilarious. He's funny. He's gregarious. He's humorous, and he's kind-hearted. So it's not mean humor. It's funny. It's good. And we're all muted. But some people leave their cameras on, some don't. I leave it on just because sometimes I'll communicate funny things to him through charades. He just laughs because he says, your reactions are the best. Because I'm a chicken when it comes to horror movies. I write them, that's fine, but everything scares me. So once in a while, a Grindhouse group, Mystery Science Theater 3000 type comment. Yeah, totally. We're talking about maybe doing that here on Twitch. We're talking about it. We're kind of bantering. We're just kind of we're taking it, easing ourselves in, taking it slow. Yeah, I was getting this all together, and then now I'm not on the tavern because I was going to kind of pitch it in a different way. So I said, well, all right, I guess it's just you and I. So I just now, now we're just taking it easy, and we're just gonna have fun. And the big goal is the love of film and horror. That's the goal. Just share that, and just enjoy it, and engage the audience, and have fun. I'm probably going to be pretty quiet today. I'm tired. So you can relate to the drawing. And I'm going to be doing some work while listening. Fox, I assume that. And you're always welcome. We love our lurkers. Someone's lurking. It's the next horror movie. Lurkers. Lurkers. Fox, you're adorable. We love you. I like your little emote. Kennedy says, never sit next to me at a horror movie. I have a huge startle reflex. The popcorn is just everywhere. Are you a screamer, Kennedy? Are you a screamer? I get so into horror movies. I like to watch them. I like to go like first showing in the morning when there's no one there except me and some creepy guy in the back. And what was the one? I was watching Lights Out. Lights Out. Okay, the one where if you turn the light off, the thing is there, turn it on, it's not there, click, 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 click. Based on that YouTube horror short. So I'm sitting in my chair watching it, and they set up a pattern, right? Click, 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 and then they kind of break it a little bit. And I got so startled, I literally, I put my neck out of joint. Like, oh, I'm laughing and in pain, like, oh, it was worth it. It was worth it. I had to go get I love it. Oh, no screaming. You're not a screamer? I'm a screamer. But I don't scream like a girl. I scream like a woman. You love that horror short? Yeah. They did a bunch, and they're good. I mean, that's the best one, right? Click, 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 click. That one is best. But they did a bunch, and they're all pretty solid. They're really good. And then they got that feature film. And it's okay. The first 7 minutes are great. And then it suffers a little bit from Jaws syndrome. You know, once you know what the monster is, it loses its... Once you see the monster, it kind of loses. But it's fun. It's a fun movie. First 7 minutes, though. Very good. Yeah. And that's what our plan is, to start shooting some shorts. We've got 2. I mean, I wrote them all. 2 I fine-tuned, and 2 I completely wrote for us, Spooky and I. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, is see if we could get some shorts done. And he's got connections, and he's got connections and crew. I got the scripts and ideas and abilities and equipment. Let's shoot away. Yeah. Yeah, and that was my big discovery, now that we're bringing it all back, was I'd written, let me think, 1, 2, 3. I'd written 3 horror scripts, and I wasn't 100% satisfied. Of course I would sell them, but I just felt like I was missing it. And when I joined this group and started hanging out with them, watching all these shorts and talking, and then especially after writing the real shorts, I realized you got to keep it simple, right? Keep horror simple. And what is simple? What's scary is the dark, is the noise in the dark, not being able to see, not being able to, you're trying to get to the door and you lose your glasses, You're trying to just get that thing you need, but you got to go down to the basement, and then the light goes out when you're down there. That's scary, and that's what you should build on. And the current horror feature I've written and I'm rewriting now, it's, what is it, my 12th script, and it's really solid. It's really good. And the terror is mostly psychological. And it's super low budget because there's no special effects. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's really smartly done, if I don't say so myself. And a lot of it is due to just watching horror movie after horror movie after horror movie after horror movie. I had no idea there's so many different genres. Do you know there's one called like torture porn? And they all go, yeah. And I'm the one like, what? I gotta Google. It's hilarious. It is. It's one of the smartest things I've done was, okay, you're going to write, it's following my own advice. Okay, you're going to write a genre, go research that genre. And I did. And I'm hanging out with people that know it. So it's fantastic. Yeah. So we'll see what happens next. I've written a couple, and I watched that short that Lights Out as inspiration, because I asked him, I said, what do you want? He's like, I want something like this. I'm like, oh my God, is that all? that one was amazing. So I watched it a few times, and then I kind of figured it out. And then I wrote 2 for him to choose from. It was like right when we first started talking. I think it took me a day. And they're pretty good. I still own them, so I could make them myself. But I'd prefer to make them with him and see what we can get out there. Oh, I can't wait. They're really creepy. And the big thing about horror that I also noticed is, people tell you this, and Hitchcock says, a lot of things, and you say, oh, I know that, but you weren't implementing it. So much of it's when you're the audience member and the monster is out and about, or or you're afraid the monster's out and about, and you have to wait for it to happen. That is the worst. Waiting. Like, maybe if they just open that door, it's going to be behind it. That's the worst. Oh my God. And my favorite in this one is that moment of, there's several moments. I have several amazing reveals, and one of them is the worst. And it's like, we're screwed. We're really, really screwed. Oh. Oh, it's great. And then I have 2 really good ones. Not quite back to back, but almost very close. Almost back to back. A minute of each other, 30 seconds, depending on director. And then there's more. It just gets worse. And just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. It gets really bad. That's the best. Yeah. And I think it's all gets down to knowing the theme, like the points you're making, and then the flaw that hero has to overcome. And if you can nail that, you're golden. And it's also interesting. I didn't waste time explaining the monster in this one. I think I'm kind of worn out on that. Like, I think that would be, in a perfect world, after I direct this one and I'm getting paid to do the next one, then maybe I'd spend part 2 explaining it a little bit, But the first one, this one is it's all one location, 3 people, and the inciting incident starts on page 4. So 4 minutes in, and then we go roaring through. And it's kind of not super fast, but it builds and builds, and from about 40 minutes in, it just pedal to the metal, and it goes. And it doesn't slow down. So I don't have time I ain't got time for story, backstory. It is what it is, and you're trying to survive it. But you definitely get to a point where you're like, these people are screwed, and there is no way out. They're done. Yeah, there's no way out. Truly. It's because there's no way out. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, I'm all over the place. But Fox, if you're listening, real quick, hey, I did say in the description we're talking story structure today. This is something I came across. Okay. There's a script consultant. Are you there, Fox? You listening? I want to make sure you hear this. Pardon me. I'm on the air, so my nose runs. All right. Well, you know what? If you miss it, you watch video. Okay, this is the thing. I was just talking about this. Script consultant, forgot her name. I'll look it up and post it so we can, when I take a break. All right, cool. Here we go. She had an interesting take on this. I learned it this way. It's very short. You have to make sure that your hero, your protagonist, your heroine, however, matches this story, that there's a reason why this protagonist is in this story that's confronting this villain, that they have the innate specialty or abilities to stand a chance against this overwhelming villain. Okay, now she had this other way of saying it. She was talking about 99% of the screenplays out there are screenwriters are writing a story, and she calls it the Fat Tootsie. Okay, now bear with me. I won't go too long, but she uses Tootsie, the film Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman, as an example. And she was saying that the reason why Tootsie works so well, besides having good writers and a good story, is that it's not a situation. Tootsie is a story. And the difference is an example of a situation. If you were to take Tootsie and put in just tweak the story a little bit. Instead of a man dressing up like a woman to get a part on a TV show and to make money, he puts on a fat suit to get a role and to make money, and then he goes off. And it's a funny idea, right? So, he has to deal with a fat suit. He has to deal with, he's being really skinny, now he's really fat. And okay, it's funny, but it's just a situation. Versus in Tootsie, the main character is an out-of-work actor, and he has this fatal flaw, and his flaw is he's a womanizer, and one of the first scenes you see, they have a surprise birthday party for him, and he hits on every woman at the party using the same line, right? So he keeps hitting on him. Okay. But now, so he becomes a woman to get a role and make money because he's so desperate. So now on a daily basis, his flaw of not appreciating women, right, is confronted because now he's a woman, and he's confronted with all these men that don't appreciate women, and he's having to deal with the consequences of what's it like for his emotions, what's it like just to deal with everyday life. So therein, his story arc is a womanizer learns to appreciate women, and learns to appreciate women is the whole film, really. It's the womanizer. We see him, all this, and at the end, he has to deal with the consequences of that when he comes clean. That's a story. Now, she said, and if you have a story or a situation, you don't want to try to balance an entire screenplay off a situation. And she says, this is how you tell. If you take out the protagonist from the story and put a completely different one in there, like maybe one you like, one you have on file, and just tweak it a little bit, it's not a story. It's a situation. But if you were to take out the womanizer and try to stick a different guy in there, suddenly the story comes apart and it becomes a situation. So remember that. You make sure your hero absolutely is necessary or fits that story. Okay? Because I know you're working on one. And, I went and checked mine. And I did okay, but I did add a few little extra things. Like I need to make sure, I think one of her major flaws, she doesn't appreciate her abilities, right? She doesn't appreciate herself. So I have to show that she's not appreciating herself. She's not a fighter. She always caves. She always walks away. She doesn't stand up for herself. So by the end, when she does, ding, there's growth. So I just thought I'd share that with you, Foxy. Make sure. It was interesting. I got hooked into the algorithm with all these different screenwriters and opinions, and makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. And I think what it does is it adds a layer of depth. And if I could go on. All right, Chris, I'm going to talk about Wonder Woman. Anybody out there who doesn't want to talk about Wonder Woman, turn it off. Did you see Wonder Woman yet, Fox? Don't turn it off yet. I'm going to totally distract you from doing some work, but just for a little bit, just a little bit longer. It does make sense. And if you're going to spend all this time writing, drawing, creating, you'll make it as best you can. Well, then I won't talk about Wonder Woman today. It's not really a huge spoiler, but it's a little spoiler. But not really. All right, then I'll talk about it. Okay, let's go into the segue. Now, before I get rolling here, these are all my opinions. I am not the answer to everything in the universe. But I wanted to share this, especially with Fox, her writer, because I say a lot on the show, writing is like drawing, and you start off loose so you can build your foundation and structure upon. But especially when you do a part 2, you want to make sure you do certain things. All right, here we go. Wonder Woman. I was going to try really hard not to be a Weisenheimer and get too high on my soapbox. Okay, I watched it this weekend. It's fine. It's fine. But here are the things that let me start off simple and then I'll get emotional. Okay. There are 3 tenets, 3 basic ideas of film, of story, that this film either ignored or forgot or just thought, and just they're missing or they were broken or were not included. And here we go. The first one was number 1, Wonder Woman, the film. They forgot to make it interesting. They forgot to make it entertaining. And usually something is entertaining if it's interesting. They're combined. It's a sneaky little technique. If you want to keep the audience involved, have them learn something. Maybe something as simple as show them how something works. Maybe they've never done before. Sailing a ship or loading a gun or driving a car, riding a horse, whatever it is. Make it interesting. Wonder Woman starts off, the first 15 minutes are great, right? 2 action sequences, almost back to back. Whee! Wonder Woman, being Wonder Woman, doing Wonder Woman things. Loved it. From 15 minutes, you now have to wait an hour and 5 minutes for the next action sequence. Let me repeat that. She's laughing at me already. An hour, that's 65 minutes to the next action scene. What happens then, you ask? A lot of filler and a fashion show and a lot of talking. A lot of talking. Okay. Which isn't interesting because the talking isn't interesting, right? We're not learning anything. And you can, but not on this one. Okay, they forgot that. They forgot they were in a Wonder Woman movie. We want to see Wonder Woman doing Wonder Woman things. Okay. And I can go on and on about that, but that's just a brief example. Number 2, the protagonist arc is not interesting. In fact, it might be just a bump. It's barely an arc. And the antagonist, the villain, is way more interesting than Wonder Woman is. And that's a big mistake. Because I didn't go to watch the villain. I went to watch Wonder Woman. And I can't believe they got it passed. I can't believe people approve that. That's what audiences don't like. And I'll use this as an example. A critic recently said, I would have liked Wonder Woman if Wonder Woman had been in it. Okay. And number 3, they didn't do their research. And in the previous movie, they had established a pattern or a path. And they completely veered off it. Okay. And it's even established in the comic books, right? They didn't do their research, or maybe they did and they decided to not stick to it. But here's a very obvious question I have for them. Okay. And it's so bad, it it's a light blaring at me through the whole film, and it just ruined it for me. Okay, without too many spoilers, there's a artifact that you get to make a wish. The monkey's paw, right? And it gives you that wish. Yay. But there's consequences you don't foresee until you're well down into the wish, and then, it's cursed. But basically, it's using lies. It lies to you. Not a problem. Cool. Love it. I'm in it. Cool. Artifacts and Wonder Woman go hand in hand. Here's the problem. Okay. And this gets messy. So Wonder Woman realizes that she's being lied and not giving away too much, but that's how her old boyfriend appears back. Okay, great. Now here's the issue. Okay. The movie starts, young girl goes through a competition. Wonder Woman's a kid. And then she goes through a competition and she cheats, right? Whoa. Okay. And then she gets caught on it. No, you cheated and you can't win unless, you're able to handle winning or whatever the lesson is. And then they move on. Okay. So later on, Wonder Woman has to realizes sorry, the brain stopped. I'm all over the place. So much I'm trying to tell you, and I'm all over the place. You realize later on that the crystal, once your wish is granted, the only break the power is you have to rescind your wish, right? And she doesn't want to because her boyfriend's back and she's having a good time. Okay, great. So she's living in a lie, right? Because you make a wish, it's a lie, and you're living in the lie. Okay, so the whole movie, there's this lie, and she's living it, she's believing it. Okay, so she's lying to herself. Okay, great. The entire movie, she uses her lasso, which is the revealer of truth. So if Wonder Woman is living this lie and believing it and lying to herself, why was the lasso of truth not responding to that? Because in the first movie, the pattern they established, when they put the lasso on him and he was lying, and then he says, oh, it hurts. I'm a spy, make it stop, Oh, the lasso will hurt until you tell the truth. That's the pattern. So now that she's lying to herself, she can go the whole movie using the lasso, and it never hurts her. Never. And she's in this big lie. Okay. That was blaringly annoying, and it bothered me, and how boring it was. Okay. So, could the movie have been saved? Those are just the three things that I saw initially. So then I thought, all right, how would I have changed this? Let's say, Patty Jenks, if you're out there. Elizabeth, what would you have done to fix the script? This is what I would have done to have made Wonder Woman's story more interesting and fix that blurring, obvious problem of the lasso. And here we go. This is how I would have done it. That scene when she's young, running the race and all that, that's great. It was good. I love it. I even like the way she shoots it and the cinematography. Fun stuff. But I didn't think they pushed enough because it wasn't clear, and you're not making your marks clear. Instead of having her cheat, have her cheat. Fine. But instead of that being the lesson, oh, don't cheat. Here's the lesson. Have her lie. I didn't cheat. And then her mother comes, the queen. Oh, Diana, did you cheat? Nope. I didn't cheat. Oh, really? Then, as a child, her mother hands her that lasso and says, well, if you're not lying, then you wouldn't mind holding the lasso of truth. Then Diana, being stubborn, in my idea, because she's a stubborn warrior, determined, tries again one more time and lies and tries to bear that pain. And then, she can't do it. No, I lied. I'm sorry. I'm not alone. And the lesson, forgiveness, and no, you have to remember this and move on. Boom, pattern, clear, established. She can lie, but if she does, it's going to hurt. The lasso is that reminder. Fast forward in the future, now on a daily basis, as the warrior she's in, she takes that lasso, and they've done this in the comics. This is what I just can't get over. They've set up this pattern already. Every morning, she does a little warrior meditative prayer, and she puts that lasso over her and questions herself and looks inward to make sure she's telling the truth, because it's a valuable lesson that keeps her on the path. She's this powerful warrior that could really mess things up, but staying true to who she is, staying clear-minded and her intent pure makes her that good warrior that is Wonder Woman, right? Every morning she does that. Easy to do. Except that pattern breaks now when her boyfriend's back and now she's in bed with him, and maybe that first morning she doesn't do that. Now she's no longer looking for the truth, right? And maybe she even sees it and is, I'd rather hang out with him. Makes that choice, right? Acts like someone with flaws. I know she's an Amazon and all that, or goddess or Clay or whoever, but she's still somewhat flawed. She still has like human weakness or weakness in general. Okay, fast forward now that she's living the lie, hanging out with her boyfriend, going on these side adventures, which are kind of boring, very boring. When she uses that lasso, suddenly this trusted weapon, this artifact given onto her, and she uses, now burns her, now doesn't agree with her, and now she realizes she's living the lie, but she hides it. Maybe hides it from herself and hides it from Steve. Now she's not using it as much in these moments. Or she does, she makes the choice to use it, even though maybe it really burns and scars her. And then this isn't good. Boom. Fast forward to the end. Sorry, Foxy. And then when she finally makes the choice and gives up that wish, she's had her weapon, her trusted weapon, convince her, and the scarring that's here in her hand, her boyfriend convince her, and herself, and then she has to make that choice. And then when she does, and she goes to reach for it, maybe a little hesitant, picks it up, clear, focus, renewed, reborn, boom, go get the bad guy. And then there would have been an arc for Wonder Woman. And they didn't do it. It was just, this is wrong. Okay, I'm done. Maybe a bullet, It was a mess. It was disappointing. And that's what happens is we're offered a meal, but we're not provided every course. And we're not told those little steps to kind of think about and go through. And when that lacks, it would make sense. Now, that's just one option. There's hundreds of options people could offer. But that was my initial thought, like, oh, that would be cool. Because that's Wonder Woman. A lot of times she doesn't resolve it, although she's been known to snap a neck or two. Gouge an eye. But she is a thinker. She is a debater. There's a moral discussion always going on, consequence and action. And I like that about her. And I think a lot of people do too. And she does talk about extending the hand of peace rather than gripped on a sword a lot. But there's those reminders. Yeah, and it also fits the end, which I try not to ruin for you. The lasso is intricate, involved in the ending, especially for the villain. And it just kind of comes up now and then. If it's paramount, it's paramount. And you need to keep reminding the audience in different ways. And we need to experience her struggle with her, and not just have a scene like, struggle. Show the struggle. And so that's my big point on it. That and the villain, so much of the villain. And it's just, and we'll talk about all that another time. 3 tenets, though. Make it interesting, just like drawing. Make it interesting, entertaining. Make sure your protagonist is paramount. Nothing else is more important. People are going to go check it out for the protagonist. Can a villain be a protagonist? Yeah, it can. And do your research, and if you establish a pattern, keep following it. Keep using those little points throughout the story. It'll drive it home. It'll drive it home. So there you go. There you go, Foxy. Kennedy says villains are often more interesting. Absolutely. Absolutely. And who doesn't love a good villain? Who doesn't? Oh, gosh. I love being in a movie thinking, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this person. It's my favorite when the villain is just... Walter White, Don Corleone, they're villains. They sure are. Boy, are they interesting, huh? And there's little scenes that when the writing really comes through, when they can say a simple sentence, but we know they mean the opposite, and then we know the person hearing means the opposite, understands, and there's this layer. And that's when it gets to filmmaking. Not just, oh, we got a clue, let's run over here. Oh, we got another clue, Let us understand these characters and let us experience it with the characters. And I'm really invested in this. This is really like, if you had a dream job, what would it be? Fixing screenplays. Have a producer say, fix this. You got it. Fix it for them. And then they can mess it up and do whatever they want with it. But at least I can get it to a point. And I tell other writers this, like, we have to experience it with the person. You can't just say, well, I said it. It's not enough. We have to experience it. You can't just say it once and then, oh yeah, that's it. No. The whole way through, we need to feel those ups and downs and how they choose. And, you know, having Wonder Woman hesitate to reach for that lasso would be a heck of a moment. Like, oh, I don't know. And then Fox says, magic items shouldn't become a deus ex machina that is never used until being reminded at the end. Agreed. And there's a cost. That's always the thing. Like, I love magic stories. I love magic stories, you know. I'm a big fantasy woman. But there has to be a cost, right? Like, maybe every time you use it, it costs you, or, you know, like this one, the lasso. You can't use it because if you're lying to yourself, it's going to hurt you, you know, or maybe it won't work as well. It grabs you. You know, who knows? You know? Remember the hammer, Thor's hammer? He would go to pick it up and it would say, nope, you're not worthy right now. There's a cost and there's a relationship and you have to learn, and it's going to change on you, and you're constantly adjusting, trying to keep that connection there. That's interesting because that's something we can relate to, even though maybe we're not magic, but relationships are constantly adjusting, and then maybe they separate and come apart, and then they'll come back together. You got to give the audience things to hang on to. You love villains. Absolutely, I love villains. They're hard to write for me, but yeah. Script doctors, yep. Agreed. And puzzle boxes, yeah. Puzzle boxes. Yeah. What was that? I was just trying to think. One of my favorite villains right now is a demon on that show, Evil. And what's fun about him is he isn't the guy in charge, right? He's just a guy doing his job, right? He's a demon. And he's haunting and terrorizing this woman in her sleep, right? And it's enough to where sometimes in reality, she daydreams about him, or, you know, sees a moment of him, and she's like haunted by him. And his name's George. Oh, and he's just dreadful. And he goes from being absolutely dreadful to charming, back and forth, right? In a bad way, and I don't want to ruin it for you. But there was one time she was sleeping. She had a pillow like here on her head. And then she looks down. She can see her feet on the bed, the blanket. And there's nothing. And she closes her eyes. And then she looks one more time. And then he rises up at the end of her bed, crawls forward, and he says, "Hi, it's George. I didn't wake you, did I?" His yellow eyes, all black. Awesome. Kennedy says, the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. Yes. Dark magic and monkey's paw. Monkey's paw. Monkey's paw. Yep, that's the one. That's it. That's it. You know, I'm all for magic. I'm all for that. But what is the cost? What is the cost? Maybe you don't notice it right away. They even said that with Cheetah. She's like, your humanity's wearing away. But, don't get that. We'll go on that one in a little bit. I'll wait for Fox. I'm going to wait for Fox to watch Wonder Woman. Like, the idea, let me get this straight before anyone thinks I'm just bagging on this. The premise of the second Wonder Woman, 1984, is cool. It's a good idea. It's solid. It's there. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, you know, you get whatever you want. And then there's consequences. Not a problem. It's worked in other things. It's just there's certain things. I think there's just little things they missed out on because, this is the big one. And I remember this in Cars 2. In Wonder Woman, they got so committed to telling a story, they forgot to make it interesting. And it happens. You know, not every movie's a home run. Sometimes you just foul out or just get on base, you know. They're making another one, so what do I know? Who am I? It's just that I really enjoy superhero movies, especially when they're really good. Like and I really love Wonder Woman, and I'm a fan, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. I'm discouraged. And I was asked the question, would I pay to see another one? And I probably not. Probably not. Which is wrong. You know what? You can take out a lot of the super special effects. Just make it awesome. Make it really interesting. Make me love this character. All right, hang on. Fox says, I love using magic in stories. Yeah, Foxy. Favorite costs? Being vague. Wishes being misinterpreted. Energy, negative effects like corruption, butterfly effects. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you got to watch it soon so we can talk about it. I don't want to talk the whole movie with you, Fox, because I'd like you to see it and at least be somewhat surprised. I enjoyed the action sequences, and I liked how they did. She does a lot of rope swinging, which looked cool, and how she fought using the swinging and flying around. Beautiful. It was so fun, right? A little goofy and hokey. Perfect. Perfect, right? Like, oh, this is fun. And then an hour and 5 minutes. I asked a friend who told me to see it. I said, well, how many drinks is this going to take? And he's like, not enough. One of the problems with Wonder Woman and Superman is they're not flawed enough. Thank you. And there's often not enough wrong around them. Yeah. You know, you can be flawed. It's okay. We're all flawed. That's our connection. We're all flawed, and we're trying to get through them and make them improve them, but we are flawed. And it's fun to see our hero with flaws. Because then they're relatable. Like, oh. You know, like Wonder Woman, that would be so cool to see her lying to herself and knowing she's lying to herself. Like, oh. And then hiding it. Like, oh, I love him. I can't let go. What a moment, huh? Or maybe she goes to save someone and she can't, and then someone's injured because she couldn't use the lasso, and then, oh. Now she has to live with that. That's great. That's yummy stuff. Nom, nom, nom. Not for the person who gets killed, but, you know. It's all fakes. Captain America dealing with Hydra. Yeah. Bucky being Winter Soldier. That was interesting, yeah. Oh, your best friend in the world? Wonder Woman doesn't have enough wrong around her. Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what's happening in films right now. And I was talking about that earlier. I quoted, the Critical Drinker. He's a critic on YouTube. He was saying that about villains and just heroes in general. They're not flawed, so they're not interesting because there's a new way they're writing scripts where people can't look weakness or whatever. I love it when people are flawed. Like, this is the hero. Oh, crap. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's hard to watch, but when there's an improvement, you know. And their flaws, they should be running smack into those flaws on that adventure. Like at the beginning, here's the flaw. And in the rest of the movie, they're running into that and they have to find a way to overcome it or to fail and live with the failure. And that's the film. It's not just, here's a clue and let's go run and get another clue. And then let's go run over here and get another clue. It's boring then. We're like on a grocery or shopping list. Okay. Let's go get the groceries. Kennedy suggests, if she finds the Amazons have something going on, or the gods, and the way Thor finds Odin has been lying the whole time. Good point. You know? Or, you know when the hero, I'm not sure Wonder Woman, but just in general, when the hero finds out their entire existence is to do something dreadful. Hellboy had an interesting one. He's just a key to open the gates and all the bad guys come in. That is an interesting flaw that he has to deal with. And he does repeatedly. And sometimes it works. The first one I thought worked really well. Second one was just fun. Third one, still pretty. Kennedy asks, "Are you the keymaster?" "I'm the gatekeeper." When a hero doesn't have flaws, states Fox, they become alien. Though even that could have potential and used properly. Agreed. Agreed. But then you have to adjust. What? There's a question the audience will ask, and I'm just thinking out loud now, but I find myself doing this, and I don't know if it's subconscious but at one point we're going to say, why am I watching this? Now, I think a lot of times that starts at the trailer, like, do I want to watch this? And then we go, and if we get what they advertised or we like it, we're good. But I think if that pops into your brain of, why am I watching this? That's not good. You've lost grip on the audience. They're not interested. They're not committed. And they're slipping away. And that's not good. It's not fair either. Films are expensive. Streaming is expensive. Have all these different platforms. And money's tight right now, really badly. It's not fair. You should respect your audience. And you should provide them with the very best meal you can. Sometimes the meal, it's group dynamics. Sometimes the chemistry isn't perfect. But from the get-go, if you can fix it in the script, fix it. Make it work. Make it work. I mean, in the movie, truly, when someone says, what's Wonder Woman's arc? And it's tough because, you can only go so far because there's other movies. Fine. Okay. We all pretty much know she's not going to die at the end. Or if she does die, she'll come back. Okay. We know that going in. Okay. And if you don't, that means you're 7, okay? Which is okay. I teach them tomorrow. We're good. But they gotta go somewhere, Otherwise, her arc was, I guess she just gave up something to save the world. She wanted a moment, and she did say this to the film's credit. She did say, "I give up everything for the world all the time. Don't I at least get a moment?" That was pretty cool. But that was only one little statement in a little scene, and we weren't experiencing that with her. It was just a moment. She says it, and then they move on. And then she gives it up to save the world. After all this destruction, and the world's almost at the end. Okay, I give it up. It was, like I said, a speed bump. Maybe a bump and then a little bump. It wasn't... It would have been funny. I was just thinking for comedy's sake. Because they do show she's getting hurt. She's not as strong. And she's kind of getting her butt kicked. All right, that was kind of fun. It would have been funny if her hair looked bad. Maybe her makeup got smudged. Oh, Wonder Woman knew. Your eyeshadow's ready. Cheetah was disappointing. She should have been so much cooler. And... Now I'm pretty. That was her arc. I'm not giving that up. Okay. That was it. Sorry, I'm getting snarky. I'll get off the soapbox. It's just, Fat Thor. Did you like Fat Thor or did you not like Fat Thor, Kennedy? I'm not sure how I feel about him. I didn't think it was believable. It was definitely relatable, but I don't think it was believable. Fat Thor. Do they have a Fat Thor doll? Now, I've seen friends have dressed as Fat Thor, which is hilarious, for Halloween. I think I have that inclination. Oh, he's not responding. You not responding now? You too busy working? Sorry, I got an echo. Echo. But once again,
I would like to kind of sit down. I'm going to watch Wonder Woman again. I got to. Because, I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm not lying. I got to see. I really enjoyed some of the cinematography. Now, a friend, my chiropractor was saying, oh, the animation wasn't that good, the CGI and all that. I didn't notice that as much. I just thought, even with her swinging around and all of her, you knew exactly where she was. You knew you never got lost. You knew where she was in relationship to the other people. It was really well done. That was fun. And the scene in the desert, that was pretty. And it's really cool to see her swooping people up with the rope and all that. That's fun. So it's not a total waste. It's just you got to get through an hour, 65 minutes. I don't know. Soap opera. Oy. I thought it was interesting, though I remember, Fat Thor. I remember there was a bit of an issue with the plot, but I can't remember why right now. Issue with the plot. I enjoyed the Avengers movies. It's tough. It's an ensemble cast, so there's only so far they can go. Yeah, there's long periods of long periods of people talking. I looked at it this way now, one more time, and I'll stop harping on it. But with Wonder Woman, okay, so in the middle, there's 65 minutes where there's no action. Nothing happens. I mean, there's story going on, but whatever. Very flat, levels out. So it's 65 minutes. So that's 65 plus the 15 minutes of action. So that's, 80 minutes? That's almost a whole movie where, I wake up, I'm 80 minutes into a movie. 80 minutes of a superhero movie, and I've only gotten the first 15 of action. Is someone somewhere along the line of production going to go, hey, this might not be a great idea. Maybe we could throw some action sequences. And the action sequence they have don't quite make sense because the villain isn't threatening to Wonder Woman, isn't even... her life's not in danger. It's not really, it's just, we need some action sequence. Let's throw it in here, What if someone would wish for, I wish any criminal out there would try to kill this woman? That would be a heck of a Wonder Woman. Everyone's coming at her left and right. She's wearing a little disguise. I don't know. Something. It's a long period. Just letting you know out there. So I'd start off with a good stiff drink or a really sweet piece of cake and then veer off into some munchies, salty goodness. Prepare, it's a long ride. Fox interjects, but at least Avengers is usually enjoyable. Agreed. Like the action scenes, that whole New York scene. Unbelievable. And the first one. Unbelievable. Beautiful. And in the, not Endgame, Infinity Wars, when you got to see all these heroes fighting together. It was beautiful. Comic books come to life. So well done. So well done. But at least we've grown to enjoy and wise in the movies. Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough. That's why I think sometimes it's difficult. It takes a special talent to write and direct and then act. Whoa, that's amazing. Okay. Not many can do that. But to write and direct, directors often add, I want to change this and this and that, and the producers do, okay. But you need a screenwriter to do it. A screenwriter understands these points I'm making on how, okay, you want this told to the audience, okay, well, we need to change this and this and this, and that's what they'll do, and they'll fix it for you. And it didn't happen. Doesn't mean it's terrible. Doesn't mean it needs to, but surely they can drop it off with a script doctor for a week or even a weekend and say, what can we do? How's this looking? Like, surely, call the pickle lady. Let me give you my 10 cents. Because sometimes you can't see the issue. You can't see it. And once again, I think they got so into telling this story, they forgot
what they forgot what they were telling and whether or not they were telling it. And they weren't. And Loki is one of your favorite villains. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. That Loki, he's scary. He's scary. So anyway, that's my Wonder Woman. I did see it. Friends asked me to watch it. So there you go. Now we have a video going on and on and on. Yeah. I'm a little hard on them for Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman definitely is a figurehead. She's a diplomat. She's the purveyor of peace. She's the warrior of peace. And, you got to stand up for that. Got to make it clear. Your villain for your story, says Vox, my villain for my story is definitely inspired by Loki and villains like that. What won't they do? Villains are scary. This villain I have is awesome. I don't have to worry too much about it. Natural. It just came out. It happened. We're rocking it. It's scary. I finally got a really scary villain. But you can tell when the villain's about. So. Yeah, do it. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. You should. I like villains when they're scary. One of my favorites, just off the top of my head, we've discussed it before, Mr. Purple from Jessica Jones. I thought he was fabulous. He was. Oh, there's not much. I couldn't see anything he wouldn't do. He pretty much did it all. He was so scary. Just seeing him walk into a scene, you're like, oh. Open a door, he walks in. Oh, God. That's what people are looking for. That's what people want. Oh, I was just going to make my hand. What am I going to do with this hand? Oh, I'm just going to have it seated. That's right. Okay. There's not much he wouldn't do to reach his goals. Agreed. And that's terrifying. I think the Joker is that way. There's not much he wouldn't do. I mean, he's... That's a short list. I mean, yeah. There's a few times I've read, and I didn't collect Batman, but in some of the comics, he's really, really bad. Yeah, I'm just going to draw the hand here real quick. All right. So I forgot I'm doing... How do my fingers feel when you're drawing? I was talking about that earlier. Yeah, I'm exaggerating right now. I'm not just sitting around cartooning, having fun, exaggerating kind of a tired, languid day. How do the fingers feel? They're feeling really... You love villains. Fox adds she loves villains that are calm and calculating, but ultimately terrifying. Scarily calm. Yeah, I like them. We'll put a little pin in my hand. Like, I'm so tired. We'll put a little pin over here. Can't draw straight today if my life depended on it. Ooh, there was a villain. Who was the villain in that one? What was that one? What was that one with Harry Potter? And he wakes up and he has the two guns like bolted to his hands. He's got to run around and take part in this virtual game. Well, he's got to go kill people or they're going to come kill him. And that was a crazy movie. I don't remember the villains as much, but I thought that the premise was just sharp and hip and kind of wish I'd thought of it. He was trying to pull his pants up, trying to get his pants on. He's got these guns and can't open the door. Oh, what's that movie? I'll find it for you. Hang on, gang. Let me stop drawing for a second. I'm going to look something up for one of the viewers. Oh, my keyboard. All right, scoot over. Here we go. You should see how I'm Googling this. I put Harry Potter with guns bolted to hands. Okay, it's called Guns Akimbo. All right. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get copyright. Here's the link, Foxy. Now that I've completely distracted you from your work, you're welcome. There you go, beautiful. Enjoy. It's all right. Yeah, I guess it was a graphic novel initially, and it's intense. It's pounding. It is pretty violent and a little gross, but fun premise. I mean, that's a heck of a way to start a movie. What? Oh yeah. Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like that? All right, let's try to get this. Here we go. That was a fun one, yeah. I was just trying to think of villains I like. I thought Hannibal Lecter was an incredible villain. You're very welcome. Anytime. That's what we do in the Pickle Jar. We help each other out. Share art, share cool things, share the goodness of life. I thought Hannibal Lecter was one of my favorites. Just intense, frightening. The fact that whenever he was, especially when he was talking to Clarice, he never blinked. And the one time he does, it's like he's looking over and then blinks up, but he never blinks. It's extraordinary. He just maintained eye contact, the way he could outthink everyone, the way he never raised his temper. Ever. He was always, like, he was at the end of the movie when we just started the movie. Like, that's just incredible. That's great writing. First book I ever read in college. Great stuff. My tablet stand is acting up. I got, oh man, it's really acting up. What happened? Oh, it's giving out. Hang on. Well, we'll just do the best we can for now. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I liked, definitely him. I kind of got off on it. Yeah, I didn't think Max in Wonder Woman was much of a villain. I mean, he was so determined. I mean, in a way he was so determined to get what he wanted. He was willing to injure people or ruin people's lives, I guess. Destroy the world in a way. I guess that's a villain. Oh, and here's my pen. All right, I just can't see the draw. This is me. Okay, now that I'm all over the place. So this is what you can do when you keep your line relaxed. You can get these just weird drawings and fun smoothness. It's very expressive and very, very loose and identifiable. I encourage anyone out there playing with their drawing. Try it. Try drawing this way. Try it. Once again, don't pick up your pen much in the initial drawings. Let it flow. Let shapes speak for themselves. And I might even just push it farther. Let's just see what happens. Let's bring her down a little bit more. Boom. Where I put it on the page has all the meaning. And there you go. Now suddenly we have a worn out character. Tired. I think those are the words I was looking for. Bored and tired, I think. Bored and tired. Those are the words I did. And there you go. Whoops. There's a little brush, her little pen. She's just bored and tired as, I don't know, the meeting carries on or the day or whatever. It's okay. There you go. Exaggeration is your friend. Exaggeration is your friend. Exaggeration is your friend. Exaggeration is your friend. If you want to tighten up, it is so much easier to take something and push it really far and then start tightening it up. than to tighten up and then try to push it the other way because you're already committed. And that's what happens. When you're loose, you're flowing. You're like, somewhere within this area, this is going to be it. And then you can start bringing it in, bringing it in, bringing it in, bringing it in, bringing it in. And then it's beautiful. Take the time to do that. Try it. See what happens. Get that pen on the paper and don't pick it up for a while. Just let it flow. Let it flow. It's a silly phrase now that's going to be overused. Everyone's going to say, let it flow. But it's true. Enjoy it while you got it. Okay, what do we got now? Oh, okay. Fox says, I think I remember reading that actors really did that through the scenes without cuts. Wow. But I could be misremembering. I haven't seen the movie yet, but it's on my list. Oh, cool. Good. It's good. It's fun. It's intense. It's intense. I like that. And I liked it because it set up a pattern and it just committed to it from the get-go. Just, I wrote it the whole way out. Yep. And it was fun. And I was surprised. There were little things that crept up I wasn't expecting. And that's always delicious. You know, you're having this lovely meal. Oh, and even this, and a little bit of this. Oh, an extra flavor. Sorbet in between the courses. How delightful. The perfectionist in me really fights against high exaggeration. You want to, but you find it hard. Yeah, but when it's the rough sketch, go for it. You know? Or when you're planning it out, exaggerate it to the extreme. Go, be daring. Go beyond what you think. Push it to beyond what you think, right? And then you can pull it back because you've seen it. If you always stay within, you know, this distance, everything you ever draw will be right in here. But if you experiment and start pushing this distance and playing with it, pushing it, suddenly you'll have this understanding to deal with. And you can now work within this, right? And there'll be times, and I understand because sometimes people really want to imitate either manga or anime style, but there are times they really exaggerate. Now it doesn't seem as much because they tend to have a more angular style to them, more linear, but there is exaggeration and stuff happening. And so I encourage you, just when you're doing rough or just sketching, stay loose. Explore that whole arena and then tighten up when you get to the final product. And I think what's going to happen is what you're doing is you're expanding your mind's eye and understanding. And all of a sudden, when you're loose and flowing, all of a sudden this depth will happen. Like, whoops, what happened there? And then maybe okay, I don't want to finish this drawing, but this looks cool. What is happening here? And suddenly you're going to start using this depth more and more and more, and that area will explore. And so sometimes the line will get away from you. You don't be afraid to follow it. See where it goes. Oftentimes I'm doing a sketch and I go, what the heck is this? I don't know, but it's kind of cool. Let's finish it. Maybe not now. Maybe I'll come back to it later, or maybe now I'll finish it. Where's that going? I think a lot of times this and the heart are trying to communicate, and when we're artists that we communicate with line and paper, it comes out in bursts. And even when we don't realize what we're feeling or needing to express, it will come out. And I think keeping this on the paper and flowing and letting it roll, I think it allows it to just come out. Don't be afraid of it. You know what? You might have some really hidden drawings in there. Like all of a sudden, hey, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Fear is on the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. I know, contour drawings sometimes. You're like, get into class, and today we're doing contour. Oh my God. Don't be afraid of contour. Contour is your friend. I'm going to try one quick thing here. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? I still can't get bits. What's going on? They're being stingy with their ads. Must have been for Wonder Woman. It'd be funny if every ad, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. That would be my luck. Hopefully, I'll definitely try some warm-up sketches. Yeah. Or when you're dinking around in your sketchbook. Or, before class starts. Get some weird ones. Draw weird. Yeah. Don't be straight all the time. Draw weird. It's a glorious thing. It's really, and that's really the lesson for today is get loosened up. Get some weird drawings out there. I'll start another one here. Burp. Get some cranberry juice in you. Okay, where are we? Oh, that one's funny. Drawing class is going to be interesting because I'm going to have to hold my pencil differently than I normally do. I think that's fantastic. You're going to open up. It's not a bad idea. As soon as you get to drawing class, sit down and just start drawing on the paper. And what I mean by that, and you might do it, you might not. You probably see me do it. You've been around with me for a while. You get on your paper and you just start loosening up. Oh, what size of paper are you drawing with? Are you drawing upon? And you just start loosening up. Get that shoulder, get that arm, get that wrist talking to you, all working together. Are you drawing on big, huge tablets, or what are they recommending? Just quiet. Just quiet. Too quiet. I'm interacting with an ad. All right. I got 5 bits. Bummer. That's it. No more. No more bits for you. Okay. You should. Try it with your left hand. Draw with your left hand for a while. Try it. Go crazy. If your teacher's any kind of artist, they'll immediately know what you're doing. They're like, oh, somebody knows. Somebody's afoot. Yeah. I'm excited for you, Foxy. I really want to wish you, I think you're going to have so much fun in that drawing class. Any class, you got to kind of figure out the instructor and what they want. That's a little adjustment, but it's really neat. 18 by 24. Definitely warm up the arm. Get that arm going. Warm that sucker up. That's a lot of paper. Oh, Kennedy, you've just been moderated. I'll allow it. Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell. Was it suffering or hell? That was bad. That was a movie line that freaked me out. Courtesy of Pinhead. Agreed. Even in hell. Oh, that was such a fun movie. Oh, God, we watched that one. We watched the second one. I'm telling you, Uncle Spooky Man. Gotta check him out. He's hilarious. What movie freaked me out recently? Well, that Demon George is in my head. Not too bad. It'll be way bigger than I'm used to. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a big one. It's big. You can't get away with this, that's for sure. You gotta go. Well, and you have a board, and maybe you're gonna sit on horses. It's cool. It's fun. It's so much fun, Fox. What they're doing is they're shaking you up. They're getting you different to a whole new way of drawing. And it's going to shake everything up, and it's going to freak you out. But it's worth it. It's glorious. You're going to love it. Yeah, you used to 5.5 by 8.5. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Consider maybe bringing a little pillow to sit on. Because those horses, when I was in my 20s, it was like, wee. I don't think it kind of, yeah, gives you a little cushiony. Just like a little pillow. Yeah. Consider that. You're going to be fine. Do you have a drawing board to bring with you? Because those 18 by 24s, they kind of bend if you just lean them against the horse. They're going, oh. Bring a board to help support you. I got one of those, what are they, $20 for this, just a pressed wood board with the clips. And the pad is so heavy it always falls out of the clips. And it doesn't quite fit on the board. Your derriere still hurts from the first class. Yeah. You got to get used to it. Okay, you got a board. Cool. That's my advice. You're good. You're good to go. And headphones. Yeah, it can. And you're not used to sitting that way. It can hurt. It's a long day. It's a lot of hours. So yeah, bring a little pillow or something. Then you'll be all cushiony. What was that? Oh, that was Boo in Monsters Inc. when he's like, "Get out of my bed. That's my bed. You're in my bed." And she goes, See, sometimes the movement is so much better than any dialogue. I'm excited for you, Fox. Yeah, you're gonna ride those horses. Riding the horses, man. Riding the horses. And get loose. Yeah, you're gonna have fun. Try not to draw just in colored pencil. Okay. It's gonna make you appreciate artists who work on that all the time. The first time I met a friend of mine who composed the musical score for my thesis, I was drawing an 18 by 24, and I had these big syringes full of ink, and I was figure drawing that way. It was beautiful. And then I went to refill one, and I was pulling it, and it just exploded. Got ink everywhere. And he's the only one that helped me. It was funny. I think Terminator is ranked as one of the top villains and heroes, though not of horror. I thought Terminator was a horror story for me. It was frightening. Music makes a huge difference in movies, especially horror. Hey, did you see A Quiet Place? Incredible. That was really fun. It was like no music. I think maybe when the action really kicked in, it might have. I can't even remember. I haven't seen the second one yet. I need to look that up. All right, everybody, hang on. Big old lady's looking at something else up for the audience. Okay, let's look this sucker up. Okay, there's a great app. It was recommended to me. I encourage anyone to use. It's called... Oh, you saw the second one? No. It's called justwatch.com, and it will tell you wherever you can see whatever movie you're looking for. Part 2. Oh, and it's not being offered on any streaming. Oh, man. That's a bummer. That John Krasinski is good director. Pretty good. You enjoyed the first one? I did too. I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a lovely combination of premise and filmmaking. That him approaching the entire film is dreadfully quiet, painfully, torturously so. And just kind of to get you more in tune with the characters and what they're thinking. Yeah, Krasinski. He's cool. It's good stuff. I loved it. Well, I like Emily Blunt, and I had no idea I was a huge fan of hers. But I started thinking, I realized that was her, and then I realized, what? She was in this and that and this, and all these movies I really, really like, and she's in them. So, cool. Yeah, great. It was a good film. Solid, solid piece. Nice. I tell you that scene in the bathtub when she's giving birth and then the aliens are coming. Wow. Just wow. Fun. Yeah. He's flexible. He can do a lot of parts. He's easy. He's empathetic, you know. He seems sincere. I mean, he could be a real. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he's like at home, but across camera, it's easy. You easily identify with him. It's easy. It's comfortable. Simple. It's that easy. I don't know how people pull that off. How do you pull that off? Stepping on the nail. See. Oh my God. I need to see that eventually. You need to see this movie, Fox. It's solid. You need to go see this movie. Now. Turn on now. Don't do any homework. Don't do your homework. I have an ever-growing list of movies and books myself. And unfortunately, the books are just chapters here and there. But yeah. But that's life. It's the luxury of life. We just get to keep trying new tastes, new flavor. It's beautiful. Jack Ryan. I haven't seen it yet. But I will. It's just one of those things. Keeps on going and going. All right, now. I don't want to. But it's tomorrow's school. School. I gotta teach. Yeah, you know, it's always something. So, for those of you out there who've been watching, let's do a quick wrap up here. Initially, when you're first engaging the drawing, when you're first starting off, you're searching. Don't jump in presumed. I know exactly what this is going to look like. Allow yourself the time to seek it out. And you do that by staying light, relaxed, sensitive to that line and what you're communicating. And look for it. Like in the initial drawing I did earlier, sometimes you don't know where it's going to go. So we do a really loose, crazy, and then we tighten it up, and then we tighten up, and then we tighten up as we build each layer. So start loose, get out there, go a little crazy. Be relaxed. Like this person. Now, the time to start tightening up is when you get deep into the drawing. You've already got your motion, your movement, then you got your big shapes. And then perspective, you start tightening up. Start bringing that under control, that whirlwind. And then you get your big shapes, or your perspective. And now you're going into weight. And now you're going into light and darkness, shadow, light. And then you're getting into your final details. And now you really nail it down, really hammer it home, really make those shapes clear and how it is. And this is how you pick up chicks, says Kennedy. Start loose and tight. If you start tight, you have nowhere to go. How many times have you started a drawing and then you get a few minutes into it, or maybe even half an hour, and you realize, God, if only I'd done that, or yeah, it's because you maybe didn't spend enough time exploring. So take that as a lesson on the next one. Give yourself a little bit more time to explore. Figure it out. No pre-expectations. So many times. Hey, whatever works, buddy. Remember, it should be an enjoyable experience. If it hurts when you draw, reconsider how you're doing it. Waiting for Kennedy to respond. I need more drawing time. Need more practice. Well, Kennedy, thanks for hanging out today. You're hilarious. You make me laugh all the time. I miss you too. I'm glad you stopped in. Yeah. You never know. You never know what the future holds. Maybe I'll get invited back at the tavern. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe I'll stop in for a drink. And Foxy, always, I'm so proud of you for going through college, hanging in there. I think we have a couple of viewers. I think Wordawin's hanging around, but not saying much. Now I gotta go and oofta.
Now I gotta go and really think about classes.
Gotta teach us young whippersnappers.
It seems so short, it went so fast. The good times never seem to last, even though it was a blast. Now it's time to know. It's the end of the show. End of the show, time for leaving. End of the show, it's time to go. End of the show, but don't be grieving. We'll be back tomorrow night for another show. Tomorrow night, 11 p.m. We'll be here tomorrow night for another show. Spooky in the house. You won't recognize me. I'll be all polka dotted like the pickle lady. Kennedy promises next time he'll tell me about lint art and maybe even have a demonstration. This semester is my first in-person class, says Fox. So everybody, wish her the best of luck. Don't forget your mask. I dare you to show up in a Jason mask. And then take it off. You got a normal mask. Don't do it. I guarantee no one will sit next to you. All right, everyone. So wherever you go, wherever you are, you're looking forward to spooky pickles. It reminds me, I got to order more makeup. They know. I told Spooky ever since I started hanging out with him, I'm turning more into a woman, more into a girl, putting on makeup, gloves, checking my lighting. Anyway, anyone, wherever you go, wherever you are, remember, keep your line loose. Loose like a goose, baby. Take a breath and always use your pickle power. Be quick to think. Be slow to react. And as always, be generous with your love. And until then, tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Plague Doctor Sapphire. Till I see you then. Pickle Lady, out!